My name is Desirae Haluk. I'm the owner of Clarence Services, and that is a marketing agency for startups and small businesses. But today I'm not going to talk about marketing. I am going to talk about converting your work life into a 4-day week. And that's doing it without losing business. Now, it's not like this is like, a sure way of doing it. It's just what I've come up with. And the reason why I started thinking this way, I've read many books in the past. I mean, when I was in the corporate world and, talking about 6-hour work days or, sort of the non-traditional work life where, you're not always productive between 9 and 5. And sometimes in the middle of the night, you have really great ideas and you want to start working, or, sometimes it's at 4 in the morning, sometimes it's at 8 o'clock at night. So the traditional 9 to 5 has always bothered me. And I know when I look at my family, my brother is an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. My mother is a real estate agent, which is not a typical work day. So I just felt like it's probably in our genetics to go against the norm. But the last straw for me was I've had a really stressful life in the last 6 months, really 2 years, but let's just say 6 months, just with, moving and COVID and the travel situation. And I was every morning before work, I work out, and I usually do yoga after. And now at our new house, we have a 1.3 mile loop that we live on. Like the road is a loop. And I vowed that every sunny day I'm going to walk or run the loop after or before my workout. So I started feeling really stressed inside after my workout. And I'm like, how am I going to fit in yoga and this run or walk? How am I going to do this? I should be working. And, the time was ticking. It was like 7:30. Usually I'm done by then. And it's like, I still and then I thought to myself, like, why am I doing this to myself? I own my own business. I can make my own hours. Who is to tell me that I have to be in front of my computer at 8 o'clock in the morning? And I just started really internalizing about this. And I thought, why am I stressing myself out? Like, this is crazy. So I ended up really thinking about it. And I thought, how can I de-stress myself, still maintain my business and the growth of my business? And how can I pass this on to other people and my employees? For example, there's 4 of us at Clarent now, and I don't want them to feel this way. I don't want anybody to feel like they're like, oh my God, I can't work out or go for a walk because I got to be in front of my screen. And so I just started, thinking about it. And that was sort of what really caused all of this to happen. But I wanted to share with you some statistics about converting into a 4-day work week. Most of this is really from 2 articles. I didn't go crazy in depth because I've read books and books, and it like nothing says it's a bad idea. So here's just a few. So while individuals working a 4-day weeks reported lower levels of burnout and higher levels of well-being compared to people working 5 or 6 day weeks or days a week, they also reported 20% gains in employee productivity. Okay. Also 27% of reduction in work stress levels and 45% increase in work-life balance. Those numbers are humongous. This is crazy. Microsoft in Japan tested this in 2019, and it led to a 40% boost in productivity. So these numbers are phenomenal. And it's, I feel like balancing your life is it's such an important thing that so many of us overlook. And we have to, before we are dead or in our 80s and we can't do it anymore, let's do it now while we are young. And then we can, increase the longevity of our lives and the quality of our lives. And then when you also think about the other good benefits of decreasing your work week or the days per week, it reduces overhead and other costs. Like, think about janitorial services, right? Like, if you're cleaning a building 5 days a week, you're decreasing that by 20%, right? Same with any type of office supplies are used less. You're not heating or air conditioning the building as much. Just, very simple things like that. Also, places like Denmark and New Zealand, they're the happiest countries on earth, and they both implement 4-day work weeks. So there's just so many good things and great things about it. I have planned for 2023 to be my big, like, Clarent is going a 4-day work week. And I'm just going to go to the next slide and talk to you guys about how I'm going to implement it. And it's all just ideas floating out of my head. There's nothing structured about this at all, but we're going to start campaigning about it. And, we're going to have a hashtag on social media and really push it, because I want a lot of people to come on board for this, not just the Clarent people. So how am I planning to implement this? So first of all, we're going to transition to a no meetings on Friday policy. It doesn't mean that Friday is that day that we will take off in the future in 2023. But Friday, the reason why I say Friday is because it's a good catch-up day. So in the meantime, while we are planning to not work at all, one of the 4 days a week, Fridays for now, I'm trying to phase out meetings, because I feel like at the end of the week, I'm so bombarded. I have 8 meetings a day usually. And by the end of the day, I don't get to my task list. So I look at Asana, which is my project management software, and there are so many things that I need to do that should have been done 2 days ago. And so now, instead of flooding my Fridays with more meetings, I tell people I'm not available. I'm still working, but I'm more getting things off of my task list done. So that's the first transition thing that I'm going to work on. The other thing is, a lot of people say, well, what about your clients? They're not going to be able to, work with you 1 day a week, and that could be inconvenient. Well, we will remain open 4 days a week, and I'm going to let the employee choose which day they want to take off. Maybe they have a doctor's appointment on a Wednesday 1 week. Maybe they want to go for a long weekend and take off a Monday. So I'm going to leave it to them. And that way you remain open 5 days a week, because with all your employees, you can still kind of manage that 5 day a week workflow. Also, a lot of people are like, how do you, my employee asked me, Haley, she said, so do we have to make up the hours on the 4 days that we normally do? And my answer is absolutely not. So long as you state clear goals and your responsibilities for your employees, how are you, like, I want to measure through productivity rather than how many hours did you spend working on something. So I don't even care about the hours. We are going to have sometimes 50-hour work weeks, and sometimes we might have a 30-hour work week. So it's just manage your responsibilities. And if you don't trust that your employees will do that, then you should get new employees, right? Because I feel like all of us work on some degree of motivation, and we need our employees working the same way. And I feel like if you treat your employees and provide a healthy environment for them, they're gonna be loyal to you, and they're gonna treat you and your company the same way. And I've been in that boat. The employees that treated me like crap, I had no loyalty towards them. I didn't want to give back. But when I had a really good boss or company I worked for, I went above and beyond for them when I was on the other side, right? When I wasn't owning my own company. So I want to do those same positive things for my employees and for myself. I want everybody to be happy and harmonious and work in a place where they're not dreading to go to. I tell my employees that if there is a task that I give you that you're unhappy doing every day, and it just irks you and it stresses you out, tell me, because chances are it doesn't necessarily stress out the next employee, and maybe they can take that on and you guys can trade different responsibilities. So I feel like that is just sort of, my 10 minutes is probably almost up, but
Yep, you got 1 minute left to wrap it up. So.
Perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to share that with everybody that this is the way Clarent is going. And I feel like there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And if you guys do have, like, I like to play the devil's advocate too, or other people play it with me. So what are your thoughts on this, everybody?
I've got a question, I guess a question. Are all your employees salaried or are they hourly? And what are you going to do as far as pay for, say, hourly employees who, they are now losing a day's worth of their pay?
Yeah, that's good. Well, so first of all, it would all be volunteer. It would all be an option. It will be, if you want to do this, you can. All of my employees right now are 1099, but my goal is for 2023 for them to be salaried employees, at least two of them, including myself, obviously, or plus myself. And then I have more of a part-time employee that maybe wouldn't. I'm also planning to offer them benefits in 2023. So we're kind of working up to that. It's a really good question, but I would still say keep track of your hours. I'm not telling them to stop counting. It's just that you're not expected to stress yourself out 5 days a week. You can move around your workload however you want. And as long as, you show up to meetings with our clients, usually, but, during normal business days, or hours, I should say. But yeah, so I would still, have them count their hours like they do, and then they invoice me right now. But in the future, I will just keep a salaried, like, this is your salary, get your responsibilities done. So that's how I would do it. Any other questions?
Just to confirm, Desiree, I've actually left Monday for some time now. I leave Mondays and Fridays when I plan my week. I leave Mondays and Fridays both open for catch up. The reason for two of them is because one day I typically will need to end up working, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And catch up doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm working, but I'm not, you're catching up on emails, like you said, and things like that. And also, my employees, we work a 4 to 5 hour day.
Okay.
Because after 4 to 5 hours, burnout starts. You start to get tired, and stress, and mistakes begin to happen. So even if it means that we have to go back a second day rather than finish it all, then that's
worth it.
That's what we do. Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Desirae, I'm both impressed and inspired by what you're proposing, because I think the key thing for me, looking at your second to last, or your last bullet point there, is the term healthy work culture. And what I like that you're doing is, a healthy work culture is defined differently from each individual.
Yes.
We're all unique human beings, and you're giving your team the option to determine or define what healthy work culture is for him or her.
Yes.
And giving them options. Some people it's mental, it's their cognitive being, some is physical. So I really appreciate you thinking like this. And I think this is definitely something that a lot of us can just at least take the big picture and adapt our own way of doing it. But thank you for presenting this.
Thank you, Drew. And actually, you were part of my inspiration, because when we were working together a few weeks back and months, I remember putting together your schedule with you to get all the marketing tasks done. And it overwhelmed me. Just, how are you going to do this? And that's when we came back a week or 2 weeks later. And I'm like, I think you need to adjust this, Drew, because you're not going to fit anything else in. And then you have your kids that you're dealing with.
Yep.
And I just like, oh my God, my heart just felt for you. And I know that it's motivating to get things in order, but at the same time, you need to breathe. You need space in your life.
Yeah, well, I think that was a turning point for me too. That it was a great conversation, because we had both agreed with each other we were going to be upfront, honest, and help each other out. No white elephants and stuff. And when you mentioned that, I realized my output was awful. I had paralysis by analysis. Every week, I did not feel productive.
Yeah,
So quantity is not better than
it's
quality.
not.
And it
It's
was a
not, and
good
it's proven.
conversation.
It's
Yeah,
proven.
no, thank you.
Yeah, and I was going to say, we tend to take things to extreme because, again, we're totally virtual, ahead of the curve on a lot of things that we do, and have always been virtual. And when I'm interviewing people, people ask, what are the expected hours? I go, I can't even tell you when the people work. Like, I have no idea. I just know there's work to get done, and it gets done. If you're getting it done, I really could give a crap. And if you can't, then you're not going to be working here. So it's either or. I mean, so I really don't care when you work.
Yep.
And that's how it is.
Well, I think, Dennis, you make a good point, and so did you, Desiree. Trust is the foundation of any kind of relationship. So
It is.
initially, you have to have the right people on board, and you've got to trust yourself, and then trust the people you bring on. Then this will work.
Yes.
You know, but you got to start in the beginning, having the right people and having your own the right mindset. So great job.